The FBI headquarters in Washington, D.C. was alive with activity on a bright morning in May 2025. Kash Patel, newly appointed FBI director by President Trump, was preparing for his first major press conference, a defining moment in his controversial career. At 45, Kash had built a reputation as one of Trump's fiercest loyalists, known for his aggressive political stance and readiness to attack any opponent of the administration of Indian-American descent. He carried himself with confident poise, a posture that had become his trademark. Sarah Mitchell, his press officer, informed him, "CNN wants a live interview this afternoon. They want to discuss your priorities for the FBI, including international operations." Kash adjusted his red tie, a deliberate signal of loyalty to Trump, and smiled. "Perfect. It's time to show the world how the FBI will operate under my leadership. No political games, no hesitation in defending U.S. interests." What Kash didn't know was that this interview had caught the attention of someone halfway across the world, someone with detailed knowledge about the Patel family that could shatter Kash's career. Across the Atlantic, in Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso, President IBRAHIM Traoré sat in his office reviewing intelligence reports. Major Dabo, his head of communications, entered with a serious expression. "Mr. President, we have received troubling information about the new U.S. FBI Director, Kash Patel," Dabo said. "He plans to increase intelligence operations in West Africa, with Burkina Faso at the top of his list." Ibrahim, now 36 and widely respected internationally, raised an eyebrow. "What kind of operations?" "Our sources say he intends to establish surveillance networks in countries he considers problematic," Dabo explained. "Burkina Faso is targeted." Ibrahim leaned back thoughtfully. "As president, I will not tolerate interference in our sovereign affairs." Dabo hesitated. "There's more, sir. We also uncovered secrets about Patel's family, secrets he would want to keep hidden." Curious, Ibrahim took the confidential folder Dabo handed him and began reading. His eyebrows rose as he processed the startling information. Meanwhile, at CNN's Washington studio, Kash Patel sat confidently before the cameras. He exuded the certainty of someone used to defending Trump against fierce criticism. Anderson Cooper opened the interview. "Dabo Rector Patel, thanks for joining us. How do you plan to use the FBI to advance President Trump's national security agenda?" Kash smiled. "Anderson, let me be clear. The FBI under my leadership will not tolerate threats to American interests from wherever they come. That includes African countries that think they can challenge American dominance without consequence." Leaning forward, with intensity he continued, "We've seen young, inexperienced African leaders playing geopolitics with great powers. It's time they learned how the world really works." Anderson asked, "Are you referring to someone specific?" Kash nodded, with a smirk. "Yes, leaders like Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso, who believe they can ignore American interests and get away with it. A firmer approach is overdue." Back in Ouagadougou, Ibrahim watched the interview unfold. Advisors waited silently beside him. "So, Mr. Patel wants to take a firmer stance against us," Ibrahim said calmly. He stood and approached his desk, the folder of Patel's secrets open before him. "Major Dabo, connect me to CNN. It's time we educate the new FBI director." Dabo looked uneasy. "They won't expect a live response." "Then it will be a surprise lesson," Ibrahim replied, taking his place in front of the presidential cameras. Back at CNN, Anderson Cooper was mid-question about domestic policy when an urgent message came through his earpiece. "Director Patel," Anderson said, interrupting himself, "we have President Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso on the line. He wants to respond live." Kash blinked, clearly surprised. "Does he want to respond now?" "Yes, live," Anderson confirmed. Kash, never one to back down from confrontation, straightened. Bring him on. This will be educational. The screen split. Kash in CNN's Washington studio. Ibrahim in his office with the Burkina Faso flag behind him. Ibrahim spoke calmly, his voice carrying authority. Thank you for mentioning me on American television. It's always interesting to see how some Americans view Africa. Kash attempted to maintain his confidence. President Traoré welcomed frank discussions about international security. Ibrahim repeated, with a slight smile, frank discussions. Excellent. Leaning forward, Ibrahim's tone sharpened. Director Patel, you said African countries challenge American hegemony without consequence. This is curious coming from someone whose ancestors fought British colonialism in India. Kash shifted uneasily. This is different, is it? Ibrahim pressed. My ancestors fought for Burkina Faso's sovereignty. What makes your position any different? Kash struggled to respond. The geopolitical situation has changed. Ibrahim held up the folder. Before we continue, there's something about your family we must clarify. Kash frowned. My family. What does that have to do with foreign policy? Ibrahim's smile vanished. Everything, especially honesty. He stood and retrieved a red folder. You built a political career attacking immigrants and championing strict immigration laws. Yet your father, Mahesh Patel, overstayed his U.S. student visa by nearly 3 years before regularizing his status through a marriage of convenience. Your mother was reportedly paid $15,000 for that marriage. Kash's face drained of color. These documents are authentic, Director Patel. Ibrahim revealed bank statements showing transfers from Kash's uncle, Rajesh Patel, who worked for a British mining company in Kenya known for exploiting African workers. Rajesh supervised brutal conditions and suppressed worker protests, resulting in at least 7 deaths. Kash visibly trembled. You regularly sent money to him, inherited wealth from this exploitation, and helped cover it up. Kash stammered. This is false. Fake news. Ibrahim nodded toward a screen displaying emails detailing legal fees paid to silence families of deceased workers. Explained $23,000 spent to block justice for those families. Kash exploded. This is a witch hunt, a foreign smear campaign. Ibrahim's voice remained steady. Screaming doesn't change facts. You profited from suffering and silence. Kash stood, shaking. I'm the FBI director. I can destroy you. Are you threatening a foreign head of state on national television? Ibrahim asked. Calm, but firm. Kash faltered, realizing his mistake. Anderson Cooper intervened. Director Patel appears unwell. Medical assistance may be necessary. As paramedics approached, Kash whispered, You've ruined everything, my career, my family. Ibrahim concluded the broadcast. Transparency is the foundation of leadership. You just witnessed a man leading your top law enforcement agency, whose fortune was built on exploitation and lies. Africa will no longer be intimidated by threats or deception. Truth is our strongest weapon. Aftermath. The broadcast went viral, over 15 million views within hours. The White House announced Patel was on leave for personal reasons. Investigations verified the documents. Within a week, Patel resigned amid mounting pressure. Kenyan families affected by Rajesh Patel's mining operations filed lawsuits, winning millions in reparations used to build schools and clinics. The scandal sparked reforms in vetting processes for U.S. security appointments. President IBRAHIM Traoré's bold transparency marked a turning point, proving Africa would no longer be silent or powerless.